Hello my beautiful sisters, it is Dr. Tanya Lambert here and welcome to another episode of the Lambert University 4-week nutrition program for women with fibroids. Now, in this episode, you are in for a treat. This is part 2 of the complete meal prep from breakfast to dinner, which is going to show you how to prepare healthy, tasty meals in the second half of the week when you are running out of the foods that you prepared on the weekend. Now, in part 1 of the complete meal prep video, you saw how I prepared 2 different meals from millet. For breakfast, you use millet to make a sweet breakfast cereal. And for lunch, I shared with you how to quickly put together the chickpea curry, which I shared with you in week 1 of the course. And for dinner, you had a skillet millet, so repurposing the millet grain for dinner, making your life easy so you can prepare 3 different meals in under 30 minutes. Now, in part 2 of the complete meal prep series, I'm going to share with you how to take simple ingredients in your kitchen and put together breakfast, lunch, and dinner in under 30 minutes. Some of the recipes take less than 15 minutes to make, and you're going to be so excited about the ingredients that we're going to be using. Also, in part 1 of our week 4 putting it all together videos, I shared with you 2 easy steps to help you to pre-prep some of the ingredients that we're going to use in today's video. And I'm going to reshare with you what those ingredients are. So in part 1, I shared with you how we pre-baked a pumpkin, which we're going to use for a dinner recipe, along with pre-draining and drying a can of chickpeas, which will also be used for dinner. All right, sisters, we are at the home stretch and we have no time to waste. And I don't want you to eat those high carbohydrate rich foods towards the end of the week because you can't think of anything to prepare to keep you on your wellness journey. So let's get into making these healthy recipes so that we can eat. So let's start with breakfast. We're actually going to make 3 different types of breakfast dishes, and I want to show you them because they're very simple and easy to make. So the first one is a simple oatmeal with some delicious toppings that you're going to love if you're an oatmeal person. But if you prefer something more of a toast, there are 2 different types of toast that I'm going to share with you that take less than 15 minutes to make, and they're very hearty. The first one is a sweet apple wheat toast, and the second one is a savory spinach sourdough toast. Now let's start with our basic breakfast oats. This recipe calls for a half a cup of rolled oats. It is gluten-free. Our toppings are going to include some melted peanut butter. You can use any nut or seed butter you like. Just make sure there's no added salt or sugar. Our other toppings are going to include some sweet apple. You can use a Granny Smith if you like. Here I just have a basic red apple. We will also add some frozen blueberries. They're not as frozen right now, but they are a great addition to the oatmeal. We will also add some coconut flakes and top it with some Goji Berries. Now, oats typically take about 10 to 20 minutes to cook properly, but sis, nobody has time for that. So what I did is I took the half cup of oats and I pre-soaked it in just enough hot water to break down the carbohydrates in the oats so it can cook faster. You can actually pre-soak your oats at night or do it as soon as you wake up in the morning if you know you have an hour extra of time to do it in the morning. But you can also do it at night. And in this case, I added the half cup of oats to the pot and I covered it with enough hot water so that the oats can soften properly. And now I'm simply just going to turn on the pot to a high heat because I want it to cook quickly. Now you want to make sure you watch your pot. I'm now going to cover my oats and let it cook up for about 7 to 10 minutes. So it's been about 5 to 7 minutes, and our oats are now ready. And you can tell because it's nice and thick, and we're just gonna pour it out into our bowl and dress it up. So once the oatmeal is done, I added a few toppings, including blueberries, coconut flakes, the mixed nuts and seeds, goji berries, apples, a pinch of salt, and you can even add some cinnamon if you like. All right, ladies, so we're going to move on into the next two recipes. If you don't like oatmeal and you prefer a crunch, you're going to love these next two recipes. I'm going to share with you how to make two different types of toast for breakfast. One is a sweet apple wheat, and the second one is a savory spinach sourdough toast. So I have something for everyone. All right, let's get into those recipes. Both of them can be made in less than 10 minutes. So these are the ingredients for the sweet apple wheat. We're going to use some organic peanut butter, some Ceylon cinnamon, or just use regular cinnamon, a tiny bit of maple syrup, and don't forget our seed mix from week 1 with the pepitas, the pumpkin seeds, the sunflower seeds, and the sesame seeds, a few slices of some sweet red apple, and a tiny pinch of salt. For the savory spinach sourdough toast, we are going to use some very simple ingredients. It calls for about a 4 teaspoons of garlic powder, a few spinach leaves that have been pre-washed, smoked paprika, cayenne pepper, a little bit of coconut aminos, a pinch of salt, and a few slices of avocado. First, toast your slices of bread in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You will toast each side of the bread for approximately 1 minute. After about a minute, you will notice that the top portion of your bread is a little crispy. You will then flip both of the slices of bread over and then toast the other side for another minute. After that second minute, remove your bread from the oven and let's dress up our toast. Now let's dress up our savory spinach sourdough toast. First, we will start with about 1 to 2 teaspoons of peanut butter. You can also use almond butter as well. Next, you would add half of the garlic. Just sprinkle it across, a tiny pinch of cayenne pepper, some smoked paprika, this is optional, but I like to add a little bit of the coconut secret, just about an 1/8 teaspoon for some added flavor, and then spread it on. Next, we'll add on our spinach leaves. And for simplicity, since peanut butter has its own oil, I'm actually going to leave out the olive oil for this recipe. We can add a tiny bit more peanut butter. We will now place our toast on the parchment paper. Now let's dress up our sweet apple wheat. So we're going to start by adding 1 to 2 teaspoons of nut butter, in this case peanut butter, to our toast. Next, we will add a tiny bit of maple syrup, maybe an 1/8 teaspoon. Just a few drops to sweeten the peanut butter. We will then add a pinch of salt and a little bit of cinnamon. Then take your knife and combine the ingredients. We're gonna add the apples. So it's good to slice them on the thinner side. All right, let's put it into the oven. All right, let's put our toast into the oven. So our oven is still at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to place our toast in the oven for a couple of minutes. It's been 3 minutes in the oven. Let's take out our toast and put on the final touches. Now let's finish our toast. Add on a few slices of avocado, add on some chopped cherry tomatoes, and sprinkle a little paprika. You may also add a pinch of salt. Now check out our delicious savory spinach sourdough toast. Now let's dress up our sweet apple wheat. To make this breakfast toast more filling, you can add some of the mixed seeds. Sprinkle on some of the peanut butter to hold the seeds in place. And for some added healthy fats, some coconut flakes. Our sweet apple wheat is now done. I added a little bit of cinnamon, and now you can enjoy it for breakfast. All right, sisters, so this brings me to the end of part 2 of the breakfast recipes for the Lambert University 4-week Women Heal Together nutrition program for ladies with fibroids. In the next 2 episodes, or the last 2 of this series, I'm going to share with you a simple lunch recipe and an easy dinner recipe that you can make in less than 30 minutes, especially when you have so many things to do and you still want to eat healthfully. All right, see you in the next episode. And if you like this content, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends or other sisters who you think may need this information, and don't forget to subscribe to the Lambert University YouTube channel.